What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, everybody? How we doing? How we doing? Check in, check in. It's Wednesday. Is it Wednesday, my dudes? No, it's Thursday. Is today Thursday? What day is it? Where are we? What's going on? It's Thursday. Thursday, November 5th. Remember. The 5th of November. How we doing? Also, we got V for Vendettas coming out again next year, ironically. I saw the trailer for that on my YouTube late last night, and I was like, oh, fuck yeah, perfect timing. Perfect timing for V for Vendetta to come out again. So that's awesome. Today, oh, it's the 6th. I'm off. I'm on November 5th today, chat. It is Tuesday, November 5th for me because I didn't stream yesterday. But anyways, I saw the V for Vendetta trailer, and that's coming out next year, and I'm excited about that. We got bad news today in gaming. Grand Theft Auto 6, because it's the 6th of November, is coming out next year now, in November 19th. We got like a year in and like a couple weeks now for Grand Theft Auto 6. My days are all messed up, just leave me alone. I didn't stream yesterday. I had slug day yesterday. I couldn't even like really move. We did some gaming. I did do gaming yesterday. I did do that. But beyond that, I didn't do shit else yesterday. I was in slug mode. I didn't do nothing else. We got just a couple random news because we are going to get into the entire injunction against Greg Bovino and ICE in Chicago. I'm going to read the whole thing. So just a couple side notes. GTA 6, November 19th. November 19th next year. So I predicted that one. I told my gaming chat, hey, that's it. I predicted the first delay, but I think everybody did. But then now it's not coming out until November of next year. So hopefully we can make it. And we gotta make it a little longer now. It was gonna be like May of next year, but now it's gonna be November. So Rockstar says, we're sorry for adding additional time to what we realize has been a long wait, but these extra months will allow us to finish the game with the level of polish you have come to expect and deserve. I bet you it gets delayed again. I mean, that's a crazy time to release. I mean, at this point, I mean, Call of Duty's kind of dead now. So I'm thinking about the Call of Duty release that usually happens in November. And yeah, I think Call of Duty comes out tomorrow. Anybody getting it? I think the new one comes out tomorrow. So interesting. Next year, apparently. I bet you it gets hit. I bet you it's 2027. They're like, hey, I'm sorry, one more delay. One more. I think one more delay. I don't think this will be the final one. Something tells me it's just a weird November 19th. Just a weird day, really weird time in November. I think they're just saying that shit. It's gonna be like spring of 2027. Okay, interesting. All right, so that's some bad news today. No Grand Theft Auto 6. No GTA 6. You also had, I was looking this up before the stream started. Judge this just came in, so we're going to cover it now. But we're going to read the injunction against ICE in Chicago. But you had a federal judge ordering Trump. Oh, it's on AP. Nice. Where are my AP news? Where are my AP? Some days, Chad, I just need a random day off. Like, I don't know. Because I don't know what it is. It's probably just being out there ourselves and seeing the story in person, getting tear gassed and flashbanged, and then coming home and then dealing with not being tear gassed and flashbanged and like weighing that and how to like balance. So some days I just need a day off. So yesterday it was also a late day with the election. It was good news though. So federal judge ordering Trump administration to fully fund SNAP benefits in November. Okay, you gotta fully fund them. A federal judge in Rhode Island ordered the Trump administration today to find the money to fully fund SNAP benefits for November. Well, I'm feeling like a vibe change. There's a vibe change going on right now between the elections on Tuesday, the order against Greg Bovino we're gonna read in Chicago. I'm good on the MacBook Pro. Appreciate that though. And then right now here, when this news just came out about a half hour ago, of the federal judge ordering the Trump administration to fully fund SNAP for November. The ruling by U.S. District Judge John McConnell Jr. on Thursday was in response to a challenge from cities and nonprofits complaining that the administration was only offering to cover 65% of the maximum benefit. The government said it will rely on $4.65 billion in emergency funding. The defendants failed to consider the practical consequences associated with the decision to only partially fund SNAP, McConnell said. They knew that there would be a long delay in paying partial SNAP payments and failed to consider the harms individual who rely on those benefits would suffer. So basically, they failed to see that this is going to be bad. All right. So judges like, yo, you didn't do enough to prevent this. So Trump administration said last month that it would not pay benefits at all for November because of the federal shutdown. Last week, 2 judges ordered the government to pay at least partial benefits using an emergency fund. It initially said it would cover half, but then it said it would cover 65%. And now judge is like, no, you're going to cover all of it. All right. So good news there. I don't have like any order to read or anything. So what else? Really some side news quick. Flight cuts hit dozens of airports. If you plan to fly anywhere right now, good luck. That's why, you know, if like the government's still shut down by the end of November, might consider just driving. I mean, I'm okay with it. We can have a cool road stream out of it. Put some more miles on my truck. Whatever. I would sound like I drive. This is the first year in a while where I've actually put miles on the thing because I'm driving, going back and forth to Chicago and whatnot. But, you know, I'm not trying to wait in an airport. I suck at getting to the airport on time anyways. I'm so bad at it. That's why I got Delta Clear, so I can just show up and then they put me right in the line. Don't have to wait in the long line at all. I just show up, they scan my face, and then I'm in. Bang. I can show up not even that early. So I don't know if airport's super delayed end of November, which also really quick. If you guys could, speaking of, we got the protest coming up. We got $35 in there. I get paid on the 24th, but we got to be there on the 20th. So, you know, I'll be good for all of December and even January because of the work we did in October. I told you guys, YouTube and social media pays you the next month. You don't get paid like what everything that we did in October, covering the Portland protests, etc. I'm not getting any of that until the end of the month, this month. Okay. So that's why I need to likely continuously I'm once again asking for journalism funds. Okay, I'm still trying to look up how to connect to get to lodging. But if I'm driving though, I'm cutting that down to like $1,500. Like I don't think I need the $2,000 is just for the flight plus the lodging. But if I'm driving though, we'll see. Like if airports are fucked, I'm not gonna go to the airport. We'll look at it. Yeah, it's the 20th. There's an event on the 20th too. I'm gonna get there early. I'm getting to DC early regardless. I'm trying to be there on like the 19th. Before it all happens, and likely others would be too, because there's like the National Guard in DC still. You got you got Jolly Good Ginger's tent, and like the veteran protest is still happening, right? There's still stuff going on, leading up to that. So I'd like to be there a day or so early so we can figure out what's going on, and also like go see what the National Guard's doing. I haven't gone to DC to see it yet. We went to Portland. We're waiting for it. Same thing with Chicago, but we haven't gone to see the National Guard there. So if you guys could consider supporting, I'd appreciate that. What else we got today before the court order? Supreme Court lets Trump block transgender passport sex marker choice. What is that? Supreme Court lets Trump block transgender and non-binary people from choosing passport sex markers. The Supreme Court on Thursday allowed Trump administration to enforce a policy blocking transgender and non-binary people from choosing passport sex markers that align with their gender identity. Wow. This is what the government. So the government shut down. Affordability is terrible. Like nothing. I mean, the groceries are terrible. Nothing is improving. Cost of living is not better at all. So we're making moves to block transgender and non-binary people from passport marker decisions. Wow. That's what's important right now. Jesus. Court's 3 liberal justices disagreed, obviously saying in dissent that those passports make transgender people vulnerable to increased violence, harassment, and discrimination. Wait, so is there like a... Wait, is there like a... Okay, so decision in Trump's latest win of the court's emergency docket allows the administration to enforce the policy while a lawsuit over it plays out. Okay, so there's still a court battle. It halts a lower court decision requiring the government to keep letting people choose male, female, or X on their passport to line up with their gender identity on new or renewed passports. Okay. Okay. Well, we got the Supreme Court moving on shit like that still. Trump administration still just... When it kind of validates transgender individuals' fear of like them being targeted. Which that, I mean, you got the Supreme Court making moves on this, and we're seeing the absolute fascism of the Trump administration and the shutdown of the government right now. Yeah, right there. 37 days we're at. New record. New government record for the shutdown. Only beat the first term that Trump was president. Okay, so flight cancellations accelerate U.S. airlines comply with shutdown order to cut flights. U.S. airlines began canceling flights nationwide. Yeah, so we're probably going to have to drive. It's fine. My truck's comfortable. I'm cool with driving. It'll probably be like a 2-day drive. I don't know. Maybe could we full send it? I did it once to DC. It's not a short drive, but it's fun. It's a good one. Okay, so U.S. airlines comply with order to cut flights at 40 major airports starting on Friday. Damn. People aren't going to be able to fly anywhere. Yep. It'll be a road trip stream. If the government stays shut down, which I don't see it opening anytime soon, just going to mentally prepare myself for that. A judge Thursday ordered President Trump's administration to fully fund SNAP for November, 3 days after the government said it would only partially pay for the food aid program used by 1 in 8 Americans. Judge John J. McConnell Jr. in Providence, Rhode Island, ruled that it must provide the money by Friday. Get the money by Friday. All right, Trump. The people their money. In response to a coalition of cities and nonprofit groups. The judge is one of the 2 who said last week that the government couldn't pause the program entirely this month because of the government shutdown. The defendants failed to consider the practical consequences associated with this decision to only partially fund SNAP. They knew that there would be a long delay in paying partial SNAP payments, but this is why the government shut down anyway. The government shut down because of Affordable Care Act benefits. They need to continue to fund it. And that's the same reason why the Republicans let it shut down, because they're like, oh, we'll try to politically use this situation and blame Democrats and fit their little theme of like Democrats are responsible for everything, all the bad, crime, government, all of it. It's all the Democrats. We can't do it all, even though they have full control of the government. Republicans have everything. We can't do anything, which tells you, it just goes to show that they want dictatorship. They don't want bipartisanship. They don't want Democrats because they're crying because Democrats aren't siding with them just to get shit done. Like as if they can't negotiate. Isn't Trump a negotiator? Isn't he like the big deal maker guy? Right? I guess not. Okay, so that's the side news coming in. So airport delays, Supreme Court transgender ruling, the coverage and lowers the price of an obesity drug. Okay, So isn't the right wing all about like wellness and like working out and shit and being cringe about it? And being terrible about it? Being toxic with it about working out and shit now? It's the alpha male dumb shit. The red pill culture have like taken that. And aren't they about all that? And now here you got Trump, whatever. Whatever. I don't get it. Okay, so all that's happening. Which is, I mean, good for those that need SNAP benefits. That Trump administration will be forced to fully fund that. But also I get my bookmarks before we get into the main course of the news today. Yeah, manosphere shit. Like, it's important to work out. Like, you should definitely do that. Definitely work out and do what you can. Obviously, not everybody's going to be able to, like, lift weights. But there's plenty of workouts you can do that, like, keep yourself in shape. Like, just going for a walk. Like, moving your body is good. But, I mean, yeah, you don't have to be all, like... And then they have, like, added Christian nationalism to it, too. It's terrible. Really quick because we're going to be spending some time reading this, so I want to get into other things first before we get into that. I made a post about this on my Facebook page and beyond, but on Twitter they're having a meltdown over it, and this is the results of Mamdani's election. And as you guys can see, I mean, young women aged 18 to 29, 84%, and then also you got young men too, though. But 84% of women voted for Mamdani. Okay, it goes down as you get older. Same with men. But I mean, look at that, 84%. And on Twitter and in right wing world, they're like doubling down. Right? They're not understanding that the red pill manosphere, like cringe shit, is the reason why, and why there's like a male loneliness epidemic, but only in the right wing. Only in the right wing. Okay, because they're making themselves that way. Their culture is designed that way, to hate women and shit on women. But like now it's gone to like trans people and like LGBTQ is like their main target. But then right after that, it's like women, black women, and then women in general. Like that's where it goes. It goes LGBTQ plus, black women, women, and like their order of hate and like who gets it, like right away. So that's the culture. That is the culture as to why it's like this. And then women marry conservative men, and then this is why this happens. That just is what it is. Because I mean, women are able to think and make decisions on their own, oftentimes as they're young. But I mean, that's not always the case. But you know, they're able to make decisions, independent decisions, whereas a lot of men struggle with that. It just is what it is. I mean, if something works, why change it, right, or whatever? But then sometimes that could be toxic, and then you're like, oh, maybe I should change, but maybe I should make a doctor's appointment. No, I'm fine. So you got a lot of right-wing women double downing on this. Consensus seeking, clout chasing, and misplaced maternal instincts is what this Maggie is blaming it on. Okay, this is what right-wing women are saying. You got we'll talk about Marjorie. Marjorie is doing crazy shit right now. Look at Marjorie. Look at her ass right now.
You know, on free speech, I want to say that I think that all of us right here are doing a great job of it.
She's on The View. She's on The View. Oh my God, dude.
Changing our ideas and things that we believe in, and we're doing it in a very
Marjorie
professional and kind way. And
oh, she gets a clap.
my opinion, I think we need more of that in America.
The rebranding of Marjorie Taylor Greene. It's amazing to watch. It's incredible to watch. She's sending it though. She's not holding back. She's sending it on the rebranding. It's going to be slow though, because she's got a bunch of Nazis fan base, but she's going to rebrand herself. Watch. I think we're all, and she's on The View, which is like in right wing world, that is like communist propaganda. because it's a bunch of women talking about current events, and so that's like the evil. And if you're in right wing anything, you know about The View, you know about all of the talk shows that are just talk shows, but the right wing hates it. And to see Marjorie Taylor Greene on that is crazy. I think we all just need to sit down and we can exchange ideas.
I really do. And a lot of people wanted me to come on the show and say nasty things and you know, all of us to fight. They wanted all of us.
That's what you do. That's you. That's your character you created. That's your brand. That's you. You're the crazy blonde Jewish space laser lady. Like, that's you. What you mean, they?
To fight.
Thank you for not doing that.
Oh my God. No, I didn't want to win that.
It's like 5-1.
It's 5-1.
She could handle it.
Oh, Marjorie is smiling. Oh, she's smiling again. Wow, dude, she got to work on that though. We don't usually see Marjorie smiling. You usually see her mad and like all red and like veins popping out of her forehead because she's goes psycho. She got to work on that though, Marjorie. I know she's like, oh, I'm on The View. I'm on The View.
No, I
dude.
do that today because I believe that people with powerful voices like myself and like you, and especially women to women,
oh, that's what it is now.
Need to pave a new path. This country, our beautiful country, our red, white, and blue flag is just being ripped to shreds.
Because we've seen what it looks like when people rebrand themselves into the right wing, right? This is what it looks like in the inverse. It's so bad. Oh boy, it's like when you go right wing, it's like usually like, oh, okay, you just gotta hate everyone, be mad all the time, be racist, like, okay. But like watching the inverse is wild.
Blue flag is just being ripped to shreds, and I think it takes women of maturity to sew it back together, and I think that happens.
Oh, okay. We need maturity. Here's what Marjorie had to say about the results of the election. If you don't understand yesterday's election results, here are the groups that Republicans have disenfranchised. America First, America Only. AFO. Is that what that? I don't know what that is. MAHA. Americans suffering from high cost of, which is the make America healthy again or whatever. Americans suffering from high cost of living, rising food and energy. So she had to put two MAGA dumb fuck shit before she got to the actual point. Americans suffering from high cost of living, rising food and energy prices, and leaving them out to dry with no plan on our skyrocketing health. And she could have just posted that. That's the point. Not this. This is like for her little dumb fuck base of MAGA still. Because she's gonna obviously has that. It's Marjorie Taylor Greene, for crying out loud. So she's got to do that still. Okay. Anyways, that's facts. You can't meme and throw red meat rants. That's a new one. I got that from Marjorie. Red meat rants is crazy. Yeah, that's what right-wing world is. That's all they do. Just rant their way out of it. It's funny because then when you can see that they're just putting an act on to be MAGA and right-wing. Because as soon as they're not in the club anymore, they can immediately call out the very thing that we're all seeing. AOC had a take on it, I believe. Did I bookmark that? And this is getting into the election stuff. And don't worry, we're getting into we haven't read the injunction yet. No, they're so mad. They're still mad about the election. Anyway, AOC did a video, and it's Marjorie Taylor Greene was trying to run for Senate. Let me see if I can find it. AOC, and like basically Trump. There you go.
Here's some tea for you.
AOCT.
MTG, people are like, oh my God, she's saying all of these things. Like, what's gotten into her lately? Oh, like she's bucking against Trump. She's bucking against the administration. Marjorie Taylor Greene wanted to run for Senate in Georgia.
Mm-hmm. And they were like, nah, Marjorie. And so she's like, oh, bet. And now she's trying to turn against him.
She wanted to run for Senate earlier this year in the state of Georgia.
So funny.
She wanted to be the Republican nominee for Senate. So she was gearing up for that statewide race, and Trump told her no. Trump said no. And the White House and Trump land shut down Marjorie Taylor Greene's personal ambitions to run for Senate. And she has been on a revenge tour ever since.
I can watch AOC videos just all day. Should I just do that? It'll be like when I'm not feeling it for the day, like yesterday, should I just like play AOC for you guys? I could do that. Where are we at with this now? I just don't even know where we're at now. It's AOC videos constantly. So yeah, Marjorie Taylor Greene's not doing, she's like she hasn't seen the light. I don't know. She hasn't seen any of that. She's trying to rebrand herself because she's not getting what she wants. Okay. I swear I saved a whole bunch of other right-wing woman hate on woman hate here. Except Marjorie doing that, but no, there's way more than that. Bing bong. Oh, the White House deleted their tweet, by the way. They posted the White House in New York Knicks colors and deleted it because they got ratioed so bad. Damn it. I had way more. It's like all over this. So I bet you if I hit the For You tab, it's just nothing but right-wing women like they're calling to repeal the, what's the amendment for women to vote? I'm dumb right now. Sorry. Women. Is it the 19th? Is it the 19th amendment? Yes. So you're having women, right-wing women, calling to repeal the 19th amendment, which allows women to vote. It's crazy shit. I don't think I saved enough of it. It was just too much. Answer the call? Really? The latest propaganda from Homeland Security. With Arnold? I don't know if Arnold's going to be okay with that. Isn't that, and then that's Australia. Didn't he take this picture in Australia? Protect the West. Okay. Damn it. I was seeing it all day today. Then it's like cycle of algorithmic hate on this app. Damn it. I didn't save enough of it, I guess. I just saved one. This app is cooked, chat. Okay. Not enough of it. But anyways, they were calling to repeal the 19th Amendment. And it's not just one of them. Okay. Oh, here you go. Well, here's one. Folks just admitted America was a much better country and it was 85% white. Was it? Was it a better country? White nationalism. Nick Shirley had to register for Antifa at an anti-Trump rally in D.C. Their Antifa registration booth is signing up new members today. You have Antifa sign up.
Where can we register to become part of Antifa? Benefits of joining Antifa. You don't have.
I know it's never been that white. That's why it's funny. I just laugh at it now. There's no point in really getting triggered over it. They're crumbling.
Pretend to be sad when terror people.
The benefits of joining Antifa. You don't have to pretend to be sad when terrible people die. Yeah. You get to engage. You get to engage of people who may not agree with you on everything, but still have human decency. Nice.
Antifa, you don't have to pretend to be sad when terrible people die. You get to engage with people who may not agree with you on everything, but still have human decency. Outside of the Washington Monument, you have an official Antifa registration.
Oh, it's official.
The shirt says, Stephen Miller is Satan. What makes you think Stephen Miller is Satan? Let's even have a conversation.
They have to figure out how to, yeah. I was right there yelling at them. Yeah, I got you.
How do we register to become part of Antifa?
Antifa registration.
Yeah, I like the shirt. Stephen Miller is Satan. What inspired that one?
Well.
What is?
Satan.
What inspired that one?
All right, we're registering to become part of Antifa here.
Okay, now you can just write whatever you want on there, street name, real name. You can write you've been a member since whatever year you decided to join.
Okay.
Whatever you want.
Awesome. I'm registered.
I'm registered.
Am I registered now?
Yep.
Yep.
You have your official membership card.
She's awesome.
Antifa member. Ricky Bobby's officially a member of Antifa.
Amazing. Also I saved because, I mean, listen, I liked when this dude would talk about like what the mafia was like, but being a political influencer is just not going to be it because you were a part of the mafia. So he goes, Cosa Nostra of my era, the 60s, 70s, and 80s, would not be happy with Mamdani. Probably a good thing. Why would that be a bad thing? Why would murderous mafia gangs, because like the aura is cool and like Americans like the aura, I guess they're drawn to it. Which, I mean, yeah, I love mob movies and movies and games, but not real life. Real life is terrible. Real life, it's like you die. But in games and movies, though, I'll do it there. Oh, yep, that's about it. In make believe world. Or when it's made about it and you see the reality of it. So I don't know. This is kind of weird messaging, right?
Hey, my friends, last couple of days I've been inundated with messages from all of you questioning.
Would we be happy with Mamdani?
60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. Would we have been happy with this guy, the new mayor of New York, with his election? Absolutely not.
Maybe he's saying that for a good thing. Maybe he's saying that to be like, yo, that's because Mamdani is good. I don't know. Because what message is this sending? You could get another message from this in which he's like, yo, as a former gang member, as a former part of the Cosa Nostra, like, we would have not been happy with Mamdani, which means he's good.
Absolutely not.
I don't know.
We were not communists. We were not Marxists. We were not socialists. And this guy is all of the above. Don't let him kid you.
Fascists.
I saw that in his acceptance speech. All that calm, nice guy during the campaign, out the window, he became who he really was. And watch what this guy's going to do. You know, guys...
No, he's going right-wing influencing with it.
In my life,
Never mind.
we may have been criminals. We didn't like the government all the time, the FBI, of course. But we were patriots.
Oh, hell no. Never mind. Nope, I'm wrong. He's doing right-wing propaganda with it. The Cosa Nostra, the mafia, and we're patriots. Nice. Hell yeah. We may have not liked the government, but we like the government now. Jesus. This was Trump today. Just some side news quick. So here's Trump today in the Oval.
People can sleep again because they can breathe as when they go to bed. Folks whose knees
Trump just passed out.
heart attacks, renal failure,
They should have zoomed in on him.
are associated with obesity and much more.
C-SPAN needs to look at him.
Can sleep again.
That was the Trump announcement today. I missed it. Darn it. That was Trump today. Just fucking sleeping. Also, I guess I didn't bookmark enough today. I spend less time on this app now. There you go. Guy passed out while they were giving that announcement. There was Trump. The beginning video is even better. Because you got RFK Jr. just like bail the fuck out of there.
Creating high-value jobs. But today we... Oh, you okay?
That's the Trump government. That's the Trump government. And goodbye. Goodbye, RFK. Trump's like, fuck, now I gotta deal with... Now I got this. Trump's just like... so pissed. God damn it. No, Democrats are doing... Now the Democrats do this to me. He's sleepy. Sleepy Trump, dude. One of Trump's toadies just passed out, and the event is brought to an end. I mean, I guess these are worth watching for like shit like this happening. But I don't feel like waking up in the morning and getting my daily dose of Trump. I just don't anymore. It's plenty. We're good. Oh, she went on CNN too? I will praise Nancy Pelosi. What is happening?
I will praise Nancy Pelosi. She had an incredible career for her party. I served under her speakership in my first term of Congress, and I'm very impressed at her ability to get things done.
What in the heck? What the hell is going on?
I wish we could get things done for our party
What
like
the
Nancy
heck?
Pelosi was able to deliver for her party. So I wish her well in her retirement, but I would like to see people exit Washington a lot sooner rather than wait until their 80s. I will pray.
When you have to go directly from the rodeo to a TV hit, why are they just, they're LARPing. Stop LARPing. You're not that. They'll dress up. They do dress up. Answer the call. Okay. We lost badly the other day. We must unite before the midterms. I'm not seeing many reactions to that. The other thing I'm seeing too on X when it comes to like, I'm seeing Republicans and MAGA like, yo, we got shit on the other day. And no one's reacting. They're like, there's no excitement at all. 36 reactions. Christ, and he's a TP USA person. I don't think they have momentum. They don't have momentum right now. What is, no, I don't care about him. The Democrats posted about it. I hope we put mod Nikki. I hope we did post GTA 6 delay. I'm not kidding. That game is going to be a cultural phenomenon. Who's getting? Hey, put a 1 in the chat if you're getting GTA 6 when it comes out, and put a 2 in the chat if you're going to watch me stream it whenever it comes out next year. Okay, I think that's all I really care. I will. Okay, can they not post Reagan? That's got to stop. I'm done. I've dealt with Reagan era Republicans for the past 4 years, and I want to jump off my balcony afterwards. I'm so done. Can we? No. Newsom, stop. Newsom, no more. That was the last. That better be the last Reagan video you post. I'm so done with it. I'm not America. I'm a Reagan era Republican, and I'm here to do nothing. I'm here to be MAGA light and make excuses. I just can't. You know, I just can't vote for a Democrat. Ass Republicans, fuck out of here. I'm sick of them. I don't care. What does that mean? Plus, like, the reason why affordability is the way it is right now is because of Reagan. The reason why corporations can continue to just jack prices up unstoppable without stopping ever. There's no point. There is no end point. There is no point at which you're going to be like, oh man, the corporation stopped charging higher prices for things. Reagan did that. Thanks, Reagan. Thank you. Thank you for making my reality just suck. Holy shit, dude. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. You keep offering. I don't know. I've come to Facebook must not be working well today. Yeah, my Facebook stream is just not working right now. You guys are good on Twitch though, and YouTube. Yeah, Facebook sucks right now. I'm gonna have to end it. Yeah, it's buffering bad. It's a Facebook issue. I can try again. He doesn't like being the most important person in the room. True. Reagan killed unions. Reagan was trickle down guy. The billionaires will take care of it. Or the millionaires will pay for it. Yeah, how'd that go? In the United States Court for the Northern Illinois District of Illinois, the Eastern Division. So, in the main news for today, and what we're going to be reading and covering, is going to be federal Judge Ellis cracking down on ICE activity in Chicago, which I've been out there personally a couple times. covering the protests, and then following ICE in the streets, in which I hope to continue that. But we got a preliminary injunction order from Chicago versus Kristi Noem, Secretary, U.S. Department of Homeland Security, in her official capacity at all, the defendants. Okay, plaintiffs filed a motion for preliminary injunction order against defendants, having held a hearing on November 5th and 6th. The court finds the plaintiffs have met their burden to support the issue of the preliminary injunction, okay? It is hereby ordered that defendants or officers, agents, assigns, and all persons acting in concert with them, hereafter referred to as federal agents, are enjoined in this judicial district form with A, interactions with journalists, dispersing, arresting, threatening to arrest. There we go. Threatening to arrest, threatening or using physical force against any person whom they know or reasonably should know is a journalist, unless federal agents have probable cause to believe that the individual has committed a crime unrelated to failing to obey a dispersal order lawfully issued to non-journalists. So no physical force of any kind against journalists. Federal agents may order a journalist to change location to avoid disrupting law enforcement, as long as a journalist has an objectively reasonable amount of time to comply and an objectively reasonable opportunity to report and observe, which that happens, right? Like if they're moving, like if you got the police line moving, you can't just like stand there while they're moving, like they're going to move you. But I'm like in Chicago, you had the police line, I was like moving with it, which you can do. You don't have to, like, as long as you're not directly impeding what they're doing, you're fine. But if you're about to get in their way, then you're going to have gray area there. But you're still going to have, like, the ACLU will still have your back and shit and whatnot. You'll still have support no matter what. But if they're telling you to move, like, you know, just use your common sense. Dispersal of others, issuing a crowd dispersal order, meaning a lawful command given by authorized federal agent for all persons to leave a designated area. So this is with others. So people just showing up, like the crowd, like the community members are showing up when ICE is just tearing through communities. Okay, again, issuing a crowd dispersal order, meaning a lawful command given by authorized federal agent for all persons to leave a designated area that requires any class member to leave a public place that they lawfully have a right to be, unless dispersal is justified by extingent circumstances, such that immediate action is objectively necessary in order to preserve life or prevent catastrophic outcomes as defined by Department of Homeland Security policy, use of force policy. Okay, so they can't just disperse people. It has to be a lawfully issued dispersal order based upon the actual use of force policy, which means that they're not doing it. Which means that they're not abiding by the use of force policy if the judge is like cracking down on them for it. Using riot control weapons, including kinetic impact projectiles, KIPs, compressed air launchers, orlisaurin capsium, which is OC spray, CS gas, CN gas, or other chemical irritants, 40 millimeter munition launchers, less than lethal shotguns, less than lethal specialty impact chemical munitions, controlled noise light distraction devices, which is the LRADs, electronic control weapons on any class member, unless such force is objectively necessary to stop the person from causing an immediate threat of physical harm to another person, using riot control weapons, including those described above, at identified targets if it is reasonably foreseeable that doing so could result in injury to any class member, unless such force is objectively necessary to stop the person from causing an immediate threat of physical harm to another person. C, deploying CS or CN gas canisters, OC spray, or other chemical irritants into a group of people or in residential commercial areas in a manner that poses a reasonably foreseeable risk of injuring any class member who is not causing an immediate threat of physical harm to another person. Deploying CS or CN gas canisters, controlled noise and light distraction devices, less lethal specialty impact chemical munitions, so as to strike any class member, unless such force is objectively necessary to stop an immediate threat of the person causing serious bodily injury or death of another person. Okay, I'm just Okay, so more less than lethal munitions. Okay, less than lethal munitions from the 40 millimeter, as to strike the head, neck, groin, spine, or female breast of any class member, unless such use of force is objectively necessary to stop an immediate threat of the person causing serious bodily injury or death to another person. This is how bad ICE has been acting in Chicago. Okay, that this is all needs to be an injunction from the court. This is how bad they've been acting in the streets of the residential areas, and not to justify it in the city at all. It's beyond just like what people would think that this use of force is being used on. It's in the regular suburban, non-hostile, just on any normal day, there's nothing happening neighborhoods where people just chilling and living, and like they're going in and gassing them and just and taking people, they're arresting people out of their vehicles. ICE is like getting, they themselves are crashing into people, and then because they're crashing into people, they are then arresting the person they crashed into and taking them away, and not and doing it and not like a like they're like hog tying people, pulling, like breaking their windows, take a door off the hinge, fucking up their car, pulling them out, hog tying them, carrying them like as if like the other humanity is taken away completely, as if they're like an animal. Not to justify that use of on animals either. I'm just saying that it's like as if that person is not a human, and that's how ICE is treating people in the streets of Chicago. It's not good. Striking any class member with a vehicle unless such force is objectively necessary to stop an immediate threat of the person causing seriously bodily injury or death of another person. Using hands-on physical force, such as pulling or shoving to the ground, tackling or body slamming any class member who is not causing an immediate threat of physical harm to others, unless objectively necessary and proportional to effectuate an apprehension and arrest. Using chokeholds, cartoid restraints, neck restraints, or any other restraint technique that applies prolonged pressure to the neck that may restrict blood flow or air passage against any class member, basically what happened to George Floyd and how George Floyd was murdered, unless such force is objectively necessary to stop an immediate threat of the person causing seriously bodily injury or death to another person. Using riot control weapon, including those listed in this order, against any class member without first giving at least 2 separate warnings at a sound level where targeted individuals can reasonably hear it. Okay, that's pretty specific. Okay, so they can't even use riot control weapons at all without first giving 2 warnings at sound level, which, because in Chicago they haven't. They'll at the Broadview facility, yeah, because you got the Illinois State Police doing it. But in the streets, they're just like opening the window, popping a nade and dropping it, popping a CS, popping a smoke nade or whatever it is, just munitions, shooting the pepper ball guns without even saying shit, and just hitting people with it. They're not even giving any orders at all. Okay, so they have to give at least 2 separate warnings at sound level where they can reasonably hear it, unless justified by extingent circumstances when immediate action is necessary in order to preserve life or prevent catastrophic outcomes as defined by Department of Homeland Security Use of Force Policy, Section 12. Such warnings shall explain that federal agents may employ riot control weapons or force given the targeted individuals reasonable time to avoid the use of force and provide reasonable opportunity to comply. Seizing or arresting any class member who is not resisting a lawful and authorized crowd dispersal order, unless there is specific probable cause to believe that the person has committed a crime for which custodial arrest is warranted, and for which federal agents has lawful authority to make an arrest. And defendants shall not be liable for violating this injunction if any class member is incidentally exposed to riot control devices after such a device was deployed in a manner that complies. Okay, so they're saying that there won't be double jeopardy or there won't be, I don't know if that's right. They won't be in trouble if all of the criteria are met, right? If like all of that criteria that was just laid out is met, and then they have to use it because like, say there is someone that is like, I don't know, say that there is justifiable use of force and they do it. then like if someone walks by and then is hit by the gas or whatever, they can't then be in trouble for it. That's what that part's saying. To facilitate the defendant's identification of journalists protected under this order, the following are examples of indicia of being a journalist. Okay, nice. We actually get a court order of what is a journalist. Visual identification as a member of the press, such as by displaying a professional press pass, a badge or credentials, wearing distinctive clothing or patches that identify the wearer as a member of the press, or carrying professional gear such as professional photographic or videography equipment. Other indicia of being a journalist under this order include that the person is standing off to the side of a protest, not engaging in chanting, sign holding, or shouting slogans, and is instead documenting protest activities, though these are not requirements. That's interesting. Okay, that's okay. So, okay, that's what a journalist is, but it's not necessarily a requirement. Because you can still, because you could be an activist and be out there doing all of that, and then be taking video of you doing that, and then it still be journalistic. Like there still be some quality there for journalism, or like press outlets will be using your footage or something you're doing, and it's like, I don't know. So that's probably what that part's for. But yeah, I mean there's Mercado Media right there. Yeah, Yep. I mean I support everyone else doing that. I support people holding signs, chanting slogans, but that's not what I do, because that's not what journalism is. What I thought it was. But here we got a court order. So everything that you saw, those MAGA out there in Portland, not a journalist. Not journalism. Don't pass the test. But anyways, but you have but that doesn't mean you have to, if you want to go out there and cover something, you can do it. And you have constitutional protections to do it. If you have a cell phone, you have a camera. This is a better camera than some cameras you can get now. Not like overall though. Like you still, like if you're gonna get a good camera, it's better than this. But like the cell phone can take some good pictures and stuff, and you could be a journalist with that. But if you're gonna do it, you can't be engaging with the thing. If you're gonna be a journalist, but you can still have journalistic qualities and still provide a story. If you're gonna be an activist, you can still do that. Like there's activist journalism now. That it's true. Like you can, like there's activists that have their own news, and like they do activist journalism, and like that's what they do. So that's why they're saying it's not requirements. That's just what the court is. These are just like the prerequisites is what the court is observing as to be what journalism is. Okay, these indicia are illustrative, and a person need not exhibit every indicium to be considered a journalist under this order, right? Because you don't have to even have that. You don't have to have professional equipment. Like I said, you can have a phone. That's what I have. I have professional equipment now, but you don't have to have that. Like you don't have to wear press patches. For example, most of the time you shouldn't wear that because you usually reserve that for when you're wearing body armor. And if you're wearing body armor to just a protest, that's cringe. And you shouldn't do that. Like you should wear body armor where body armor is necessary, like when the feds are out there. Like like you can wear body armor to like if you're gonna have a protest directly against ICE and ICE agents, because they're out there gassing and flashbanging and projectiles are flying. So probably want to wear that, and also because it can get chaotic and people are nuts. Like you guys saw when Snorlax grabbed my phone and was like attacking me. But even then, I had everything on. I had the full vest on. I had the helmet. That's it. I had everything, and I was still like, activist journalist came at me. I guess because I guess she's an activist journalist. But she's still protected under First Amendment and journalist stuff, but not when she's attacking people. Can't do that. But yeah, there you go. Illustrative, but you don't have to exhibit every single thing to like, that's not what, you don't have to like hit every single check mark to fall under what a journalist is. You have to just exhibit one of these at least. But I think, in my opinion, though, you should be out there trying to just observe it as best as you can. It gets hard, though. I'll tell you that. I don't do that all the time. Like in Chicago, when they were, when they were attacking that veteran, I couldn't stay silent. Okay, there are moments in which that happens, and it will happen, and then that's up to you to like explain it or not or whatever. But then you're not really a journalist then. But you can fall back in and go back to doing it again. But if you're out there the whole time, like chanting, holding signs, you're an activist, and you're less a journalist. I think that's just my opinion, though. Okay, you're less a journalist, more an activist. But activists are still good; they're still fine. Like you need them. They're needed just like the journalists are. In some, you could argue that journalism is a form of activism. Okay, you know what I mean? Like doing independent journalism or journalism at all, if you're doing it the right way and calling out people in power, it is a form of activism. But like there's layers to it, right? There's nuance and layers and onion shit, and you got to go deeper than that. And then when you're out there, if you're going to be chanting and holding signs and participating in the protest to be a protester, I don't think you can claim journalism. But you can write about it afterwards. Like say you're a writer, like that's why this is nuance. Say you're a writer and you're not like doing video journalism or photojournalism. Who's to say? I mean, you were out there doing it, but that's up to you to weigh in your brain. Like, are you an activist? Are you a journalist? How do you want people to perceive you? I guess. I keep most of mine, like, I mean, I'll talk to my chat when I'm out there, but I keep a lot of like my heavy opinions to when I'm at home and when I can just talk about it when I'm home. But in the middle of it, though, in the middle of a situation or when we're out there covering something, besides just talking to my own chat, I'm not trying to sway the protest or the police or anything. I'm not trying to insert myself into the thing. I'm there to be an observer and also give my take about it to my chat, like to my YouTube stream or to my stream that I'm doing. You're not a journalist when you do things like we were watching Cam Higbee do in Portland or any of the other MAGA idiots out there. Like that's not what journalism is. They were grabbing protesters' shit. But all their stuff, their medical stuff or whatever, they were grabbing it and taking it, holding up the protesters' helmets and shit, like they just conquered something. It was gross. That is not journal. That is, I'd argue better for like a protester activist that claims to be a journalist over what we were looking at in Portland from the MAGA side. I would side more with a protester activist claiming to be a journalist. I would still cringe, but not what we were looking at with what MAGA was doing. That is nothing. That is being a Nazi, being a fascist, and then LARPing as a journalist. Okay. Anyways, I'm beat a dead horse there. So defendants shall not be liable for incidental violations of this order if defendants establish that the affected individual lacked any of the illustrative indicia of a journalist described by this provision. Okay. So journalists get protection. If further ordered that all federal agents, excepting those who do not wear a uniform or other distinguishing clothing or equipment in the regular performance of their official duties or are engaged in undercover operations in the regular performance of their official duties, must have visible identification of a unique, personally assigned and recognizable alphanumeric identifier sequence affixed to their uniforms and conspicuously displayed in two separate places. So no more unidentified cops out there with just police on it. There's just dudes out there wearing body armor and it just says police. And then they got masks on, looking crazy. Like, what are you? Who are you with? Like, what age? What are you? Are you a Fed? Are you a state? Like, it's crazy. Are you in the military? It's just they're wearing whatever the fuck they want out there. So that's pretty specific. So they have to have visible identification of a unique, personally assigned and recognized. So their badge number. They have to have their badge number on their shit. The same unique and personally assigned identifier sequence must remain conspicuously displayed in 2 separate places despite changes to a federal agent's uniform or tactical gear. So even if you change uniforms or whatever you're wearing, you have to still have that. You have to have your badge number on there somewhere. Doesn't have to be like, you know, like right there, but you have to have it on you. It is further ordered that all federal agents, excepting those who do not wear a uniform or other distinguishable clothing or equipment in the regular performance of their official duties, are engaged in undercover operations in the regular performance of their official duties, that are, have been, or will be equipped and trained with body-worn cameras, shall activate them when engaged in enforcement activity unless exempted by CBP, ICE, or DHS policy. They got to wear body cams now. So it's not just Bovino, which is crazy that they don't. If they're out there in the, they should be. Why don't they have that anyways? I thought that was crazy that they're out there engaging in the public. And we've come so far in getting police policy of like our local police, city, state police to wear body cams, and it's still a fight in some places. But, you know, they got body cams on a lot of them now. Like in Illinois, the state police, they all had, every single one had a body cam. Then they were all turned on because I looked at all the lights are on. So it's crazy that these feds don't have that. There's nothing to hold them accountable really, except for what we're looking at here. The definition of body-worn cameras shall be defined in DHS policy statement 045-07. Okay. Audio digital recording equipment, so it's got to be the standard. For the purposes of this order, the definition of enforcement activity shall be defined in ICE Directive 19010, KKK. Protecting, so that falls under protecting federal government facilities, responding to public disturbances, interacting with members of the public while conducting Title VIII enforcement activities in the field, when responding to emergencies. Enforcement activities where body-worn cameras are not required to be worn or activated for the purposes of this order are where they're conducting undercover activity, informing, information gathering, surveillance activities. Okay, so yeah, when they're at their talk or whatever, when they're in the, yeah, it's okay. On-board commercial flights, okay, yeah. The controlled deliveries, custodial interviews conducted in, okay. Common sense shit. Yeah, okay, they're not going to wear their body cam doing any of that. Obviously. It's when they're out in the public, which makes sense, which is what they all should have. It's crazy that they haven't. So basically everything that everyone's trying to hold them accountable for is what this order is addressing. There's no body cams. There's no uniform standard. They're doing whatever the fuck they want. They're gassing and flashbanging people and using less than lethal munitions wherever they want, on whoever they want. They're detaining whoever they want, whether they're an American citizen or an immigrant. It doesn't matter. They're just out there. Like, I think even in the court, one of the court orders, Bovino himself was like, this is our city. Let me, hold on. Greg Bovino, our city. I swear I read an article about that. Federal judge says Border Patrol. Oh, we're getting that. Okay, we're getting to it. They're acting like they're acting as if they have free reign. Bovino and his ICE agents, or not ICE, sorry, Border Patrol, and DHS is supporting it. So they're all, that's why it's fucked, because they're all acting the same. There's no standard. They're like all blended in with each other. Border Patrol, ICE, Federal, DHS, DHSI. They're all just kind of just a fucking cancer cell out there, and they're all mixed in, and no one knows who's who, or we don't. The people don't know. They know. But that's not how it should go. You need to know who's who. Federal agents not liable for violating precision. KKK. So, cloud storage recordings made available by body-worn cameras should become unavailable. Okay. Okay. So if they have to maintain their license with the body camera, cloud company, which is probably Oracle. It is further ordered that defendants widely disseminate notice of this order. Specifically, defendants are ordered to provide copies of this order in electronic paper form. KKK, all law enforcement members, officials, agents, federal agents, currently or not subsequently deployed to the Northern District of Illinois, including but not limited to all personnel operating with this district, who are part of Operation Midway Blitz or any equivalent operation by a different name. All employees, officers, and agents of federal agents with supervisory or management authority over any law enforcement officers or agents. Okay, so anyone that's anyone needs to comply with this. And they have to disseminate this order out. So if you're a manager, if you are in any leadership position of any of this clusterfuck of Operation Midway Blitz or any other name that they're doing, of any other operation out there in the Northern District of Illinois, has to give this order to all members of the federal Gestapo. It's seriously a cluster. It is further ordered that defendants shall issue guidance to officers and agents to implement this order. Defendants shall file with this court such guidance and any directives, policies, or regulations implementing the guidance within 5 business days of issuance of the order, with a continuing obligation to immediately file with this court any subsequent changes. Okay, so they're ordered. They are hereby ordered. It is further ordered that in the event the plaintiffs seek relief for an alleged violation of this order, plaintiffs should make good faith attempts to meet and confer. KKK. Okay. Damn. Hammer dropped again. Hammer dropped a couple weeks ago when we were in Chicago. Hammer dropped again. Not the longest. I mean, there you go. I mean, some of these court issues take hours to read. So thankfully that one wasn't too long. So we'll see. We'll see how ICE responds and how Bovino responds to it. What do you got here from CNN? Let's get some additional reporting on it. So, I mean, okay, we'll get to that, but I gotta also, you know what's good for AI? You know what a good use for AI is, chat? That if you're like scared of it, but you want to like try it, literally copy paste. I'll put this link. You should read the whole thing yourself, but if you don't have time, it's good for a lot of information and giving it back to you, like, so you can comprehend it, so you don't have to read this. But it's only 9 pages, but you can read it. But AI is good for like summarizing this. If you're like, man, it's a lot of reading, I don't even know what a lot of this means. So here's kind of like the AI summary of it, okay, which is a good use for AI. You use it as a tool. Background and context. So just a background of what we just read, in case you just started tuning in and you missed it, because it was a lot of reading. Yeah, it's like Spark Notes, but it does it for you. Judge Ellis issued this injunction after finding ongoing violations of a prior restraining order involving federal immigration and border patrol agents operating in the Northern District of Illinois, which includes Chicago. She determined that agents repeatedly used excessive force and interfered with protected First Amendment activity, including journalists with documenting public events and residents engaged in peaceful prayer or protest. The order applies to federal agents, including those under Border Patrol, ICE, DHS, and other federal enforcement agencies, anyone acting jointly or in coordination with them, such as local officers or contractors assisting their operations. And as we read, they're collectively referred to as defendants in the order. Who is protected as the class members, right? Class members are journalists, legal observers, or peaceful participants. Okay, that's who, when I was reading class members, that's who was falling underneath that, which is like, you know, anyone that's at the scene, basically. If you're at the scene and you're not like, and you can't, and you can't like say if ICE is doing their thing, and you get in there and you try to physically stop them, then they're going to be protected. They're going to be protected to use force on you, and they're not going to be in trouble for using force on you. So just videotape it. Like, you gotta, it sucks. It sucks bad. But if you get in there and you like try to physically stop them from doing the thing, this court order will protect them, actually. because then you go beyond being the journalist or the peaceful participant or whatever. So you can't put your hands on the federal agents, and you can't physically stop them from doing it. The person, it sucks. They're that person that's getting detained and getting their humanity taken away. Make sure you have their back by filming it. That's the best you can do, because if you do try to go in there and try to save that person or try to be a hero, it's not going to work out. It's not going to work out for you. You're going to have your humanity taken, and then those ICE agents and they're going to be protected by the order. Okay. Journalists defined broadly as anyone visibly engaged in documenting or reporting events, whether or not they have formal press credentials, as long as they are clearly identifiable. Okay. So like I hammered in press markings, carrying a camera, filming from the sidelines. Legal observers like the ACLU, National Lawyers Guild, the green hats, the ones that are wearing that out there. Or if you are a lawyer, say you're a lawyer and you're like just trying to go out there and do some shit. You got to be out there taking notes and not be involved at all. Like just be on the sideline, do your lawyer stuff for your class or whatever that you're studying, and take notes like the Lawyers Guild does. They're out there with their notebooks, just taking notes the whole time. But I don't think you have to be a part of the guild to legally do. Anyone could do that. You as a citizen can go out there and take notes if you want and be a legal observer, because you're legally protected by the First Amendment. So you're fine. Just don't get involved. Just write shit down. But if you are a lawyer, though, if you're trying to be a lawyer and doing this, is great. Nothing better right now than to be out there and doing your job and being on the streets and seeing it. And then peaceful participants engage in nonviolent, expressive, or religious activity, because we've seen religious leaders being gassed, or even just being prevented from talking to ICE themselves. Restrictions of the use of force. Federal agents are forbidden from using the following against protected individuals. You said, see the disclaimer, ChatGPT can make mistakes. Yes, that's why we read it all. But this is a chat summary. It's a summary of it, okay? Federal agents are forbidden from using the following against protected individuals unless there's an immediate threat of serious bodily harm, tear gas, pepper balls, or any chemical irritant. I can tell you that so far, fact-checking ChatGPT myself right now, everything they're saying is true. Everything that the AI has said is true. You have to have it source it, though. If you drop the link itself, it's not going to usually get it wrong. If you drop just this anecdote on AI, if you're using the AI's opinion on things, yes, that's wrong. You have to have it source it. You have to train your AI thing, if you're using it, to source information, not use its own feelings, of course. Which is why with the ChatGPT, you drop the link, and then all it does is scan the page and give back. But yes, you always should fact check your AI itself. You should be doing that. Like if you're using AI, you should be using yourself too, because it isn't 100%. But that's if you're using it to give its own takes on things. Okay. If you're using it as a tool, I don't see an issue with it at all. Federal agents are forbidden from using the following against protected individuals unless there's immediate threat of serious bodily harm: tear gas, pepper balls, or any chemical irritant, kinetic impact projectiles, which is rubber bullets, beanbags, etc., batons or similar impact weapons, chokeholds or neck restraints. You got physical strikes or kicks, vehicle contact, such as pushing or ramming into people. They also cannot detain, arrest, or disperse journalists or legal observers just for recording events. 5, treatment of journalists or legal observers. Agents cannot order journalists or observers to move from public areas unless there's a specific documented safety or operational reason. Target or confiscate press equipment. Okay, so they can't take. So we've seen multiple times journalists being detained and having their equipment taken, or having their press badge, a picture taken of it, and then the police cannot do that. We saw that in the operation. What was the one in Minnesota in Brooklyn Center? Safety. What was the name of it? Operation Safety Meeting. No, I'm kidding. What was it called? Chat, quick. What was the Brooklyn Center operation? And we saw, and actually Status Coup was out there, and John was standing right next to me when we were watching press getting detained out there. Damn it, I can't remember the name of the... Anyone remember that name of that one? Chat? Anyone? No? Is my chat broken? Okay. I can't remember the name of it. So anyways, you can't just detain journalists there. Accountability and identification requirements. All agents except those undercover must wear visible, unique identification numbers or names on their uniforms, activate body-worn cameras during enforcement operations, preserve all video recordings for evidence and potential court review. Implementation and notice. By 10 p.m. Central Time on November 6th, all federal agencies covered by the order must, so by 10 p.m. tonight, distribute the injunction to every federal agent assigned within the district, provide proof on dissemination on the court. This means every federal agent operating in the area must have been formally notified of these new rules by that night. Okay, so that's when it has to be implemented from that court order. Enforcement and legal status. The plaintiffs do not have to post a bond, meaning that the order is enforceable without financial guarantee. The injunction is immediately effective and will stay in place under the underlying lawsuit continues. Violations of this order could lead to contempt of court, meaning fines or other penalties. So if ICE agents and the Border Patrol violate that, you know, they're going to likely get in trouble for it now. And the broader implications, this is one of the strongest federal level restrictions in recent years on law enforcement use of force against journalists and demonstrators. It reaffirms that recording public activity is constitutionally protected and that press freedom and peace assembly cannot be suppressed through intimidation, violence, or unlawful dispersal. There you go. That's the Sparks notes of, or Cliff's notes or whatever, of what I read from the court order. Okay. 9 pages summary, and I will continue to do that. And you're going to get over it, chat. When I'm going to read the whole thing, and I'm going to have a summary afterwards, because some people aren't going to listen to me read this whole thing. Or say you just started tuning in and you missed me reading all of it. That's why. Okay, so that will continue. Get over it. It's a good tool if you're using it for the good purposes and summarizing large amounts of information. All right, so we also have CNN on it and their take on the situation with the court order. Let's hear what they have to say.
Doing a preliminary injunction to keep in place restrictions which limit the use of force by federal agents in what, of course, is known as Operation Midway Blitz. During that ruling, the judge called evidence presented by the Trump administration not credible, and also said that Trump's top enforcer in this operation admitted to lying about whether a rock hit him before he used tear.
And he did lie. And also that needs to happen in Portland too, because the president has said that Portland's on fire, it's a war zone, and it's not.
Gas on protesters last month. CNN's Priscilla Alvarez joining us now. I mean, those two moments, admitting to lying and the evidence is not credible, that certainly doesn't sound good.
She got to this ruling after multiple days of hearings and multiple testimonies from the protesters, from federal agents, from Gregory Bovino's own deposition. And her words were striking, and she didn't mince them. And she simply said she does not think that the Trump administration's version of events is credible after reviewing all of the evidence.
Thank you, Kelly. It was Operation Safety Net. That was what it was called in Minnesota, when you had federal agencies mixed with like the National Guard and the sheriffs, and it was just a big blob of law enforcement. Yep, Operation Safety Net. That's what we had that already. Thank you for that, Kelly.
I think that the Trump administration's version of events is credible after reviewing all of the evidence that was presented to her. And one of those is the confrontation that you just mentioned, where Gregory Bovino was seen throwing tear gas. Now, at the time, that was an incident that garnered national attention because it brought into question the way that agents were engaging with protesters. The Department of Homeland Security had said that it was warranted because the federal agents were under threat, and the department said that he was hit in the head with a rock. Well, according to his deposition and the evidence and the videos that Ellis has seen, she says, quote, video evidence ultimately disproved this, and that he was hit in the head after deploying the tear gas. So it was moments like this and evidence like this that led her to her conclusion, according to what she said over the course of this hearing, which only wrapped moments ago. She also said, quote, I find the defendant's evidence, the defendant being the federal government, government simply not credible. She said that after hours and hours of body cam video and video from helicopters was the best that they could provide. Now, of course, the government's argument when judges provide issue rulings like this, in this case limiting what federal agents can do, have argued that the judge is micromanaging the situation. And Judge Ellis confronted that head on during this hearing and said, I quote, "I'm doing no such thing with this injunction." Instead, she said that federal agents must give at least 2 separate warnings before issuing riot control weapons with, quote, "reasonable opportunity for people to comply." So clearly the judge is trying to set out here how federal agents should use these weapons if they feel the need to use them, because thus far what she has seen and heard through the evidence in this hearing does not comport with what federal agents have said. So this seems to go the step further of saying there needs to be an opportunity for people to disperse or to comply if they're going to deploy this.
Yep, it was it was the hammer. It was the hammer. They gave the hammer to Greg Bovino couple weeks ago that he had to personally abide by things, and now it's the whole operation as read in the injunction. Yeah, I get it. It's not a good tool for intelligence. I think it is what it is, though. I mean, they said that about the internet too. Same shit was said about the internet at whole, and now I was a dumbass and I was too conservative about it and fell behind. Okay, because I thought the internet was the same thing. It's the same shit. All right, it is what it is. But yeah, you do not go to AI and use AI as if it knows everything, right? If you're going to AI for its opinion, if you're typing in your chat GPT or whatever, what's your take on this? Of course it's going to be wrong because it's giving its opinion. You have to wield it. You are in charge of that AI. You tell it what to do. You tell it what to say. You tell it how to think and feel. It's your you, and it will listen to you. Okay, so if you are using it as a tool, like say you want it to crunch numbers, or say you want it to give you a schedule, say you want it to read a bunch of information and then break it down for you so you can read it a little easier, it will do that and not be wrong. But if you're using it as like a magic conch, 8-ball, like shaking it, all right, ChatGPT, what is the answer to this? Of course, it's going to be wrong. It will be right sometimes, but it'll be wrong a lot. But you have to wield it. You are in charge of this AI. It is your tool. Okay? I mean, that's how you got to treat it. Random, but you're in for some big Aurora tonight. We had some last night too. AI lies to users though. Not mine. Yeah, I don't know what AI you guys are using. Mine isn't lying because I'm in charge of it. I'm the one telling it what to put out. And what I want to say. Like say I'm like struggling to come up with like a way to frame something and how I'm trying to put something. I tell AI to help me with it. Or I'll be like, man, I'm struggling to find the word for this. Or what's a good word for this? And it'll be like, use this word. Or here's a couple words you can use. But I'm the one driving the thing. If you let it drive you, then yes, you're gonna get all types of answers and shit ain't gonna make sense. And you're going to get contradictions and stuff. But if you have to be strong in your convictions and what you believe, and then the thing will listen to you, and then it'll help you with if you're trying to in your productivity of random nuanced shit. Like if you use the internet for anything, if you use scheduling, if you need help with the recipe and you just can't fucking figure it out or something, just use it for utility purposes. But yeah, if you're trying to use it to find answers to like life questions or whatever, like that's cringe. Super cringe. I know it's helped me put together a workout program because like I've tried researching it and like I've tried so many different like workout programs and none of them have worked. And so I gave it a bunch of information about me and like my body and how my body, like what I got pain in my fucking shoulder. So I can't really do a whole lot of benching a lot. So it was like, oh, maybe you can bench on this day and like do that. And it's helped me like put a plan together because I'm the one telling it what to do. That's what you got to use it for. There's no reason to be scared of it. And there's no reason to be scared. If you're scared of AI, it's the same shit people were scared of the internet when the internet came out. All right. But yeah, I mean, there's like, yeah, it's a tool with anything. Yeah. There's limits to it. You know, I'm not like anyone. You could be right. Like if you're using it for like every single thing all day long, yeah, it's bad. But if you're using it for as a tool, there's nothing wrong with it at all. Just like I use the internet. Use April to help you set up events. I don't know what April is. The only one I really use is the ChatGPT. And then Facebook has one for grammar. If like I know my grammar's fucked on something and I just don't have don't care to, then I'll hit the Facebook button for grammar AI fix. And it'll fix my grammar. Okay. It's the same thing that I would use for when I'm typing in my text messages and you have the autocorrect. When I'm texting, right? And you're texting, you got autocorrect so that way your words aren't fucked. It's all good. Yo, you renamed your ChatGPT to April. Randy finds an idiot. Don't listen to anything he has to say. Ooh, we got community noted. Nice. Let's check YouTube really quick. Nancy Pelosi dropped out. What we got here? Chicago court. As long as AI doesn't turn into Terminator killer robot. Well, that's more along the lines of Palantir and military use for it. That stuff's probably gonna happen. Like, yeah, that'll be something to be afraid of. But in general, like just assistance or chat, your AI helper is not gonna be is not gonna take over the world. It'll be what Palantir uses it for. I don't think we have any new YouTube videos on it. All right, chat. Probably a little shorter update today. I just wanted to read that court order and give you guys that information about Judge Ellis laying the hammer down on Chicago, because that's one of the stories we've been tracking closely ourselves, giving you guys personal, coverage of it with the protests, but also just on the streets. Shouted out Status Quo a few times. They've been doing excellent journalism, and I think that's going to be it for just today. We'll be back again tomorrow, Friday. Likely some more information. We also have protests coming up this weekend. Got protests on Saturday. The Handmaid's Tale, or the Handmaids of Minnesota, they're having a protest, which is pretty cool. So that's coming up. More protest coverage in general. Breaking news is going to start coming back. I'm good. So we missed the plane crash, but I'll start covering that stuff again. And when breaking news stuff happens, we'll dial back in. Well, we've been focused on the protests, and that's going to continue. That isn't going to stop. And the fight against the Trump administration, the election results, all that good stuff, guys, is not going anywhere. But if you guys want more from me tonight, you guys already know we got to finish. We got to finish Ghost of Yote. Yeah, we got Ghost of Yote coming up on Mercado Gaming. I really hope to see you guys over there. Okay, I'll schedule it for 7, so in like an hour, and give me time to eat and do some stuff. But we got Ghost of Yote, and I hope to see you guys over there on Mercado Gaming. Thank you again to all the members. Thank you to all the supporters on the stream. You guys are awesome. Thank you to everybody that sent. Thank you, Steel Earth, for becoming a member. Sator for the 5 gifteds. Mitchell for the becoming a member. iBlue for the gifted. DMC Walk for the 2. FM Flower for the gifted. Dubsy Dapster for the gifted. And then again, Dave for the 5 at the end. I appreciate that so much. Thank you, all Tifa Cat, for following on Twitch. And thank you guys for the next one. Will Trump sell the strategic Bitcoin reserve to pay the air traffic controllers? Probably not. No, that's all of his dark money he gets to keep. No, current cryptocurrency is dark money for MAGA now. Hell not. Eat fruit, says DMC Walk. I'll try. All right. All right, Chad, I'm going to get that scheduled. See you guys on the next one. Have a good one.